Hi everyone, good morning. How are you guys?
Hi Priya. Good, good. How are you?
Good morning, Priya.
Good morning, Priya.
Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
Morning, Priya.
It's okay. So, what we discussed in the last class?
Class and
Yes.
object.
Class and
Okay.
object and method overloading.
Okay.
Polymorphism.
Polymorphism, inheritance, method overloading, method overriding.
Yes. Okay, we discussed only overloading. Okay. What is overloading? Method overloading?
Um, a method can have same name but different number of parameters or different type of parameters.
Yes, correct. So, can you give an example of this method overloading? Any
So
example?
some can have integer A, integer B
Hmm.
for this example, and it can have same method name sum with like integer A and double
Mm-hmm.
D1 as well, and double D2.
Okay. Yes. So there are some examples you can give. So in interview, we get a question, what is polymorphism? Explain with examples. So we have to explain the types and also the code. You have to give an example. Maybe they will ask you to share a screen and write a code. Or you may have to write it orally, explain. Okay. So overall, the question will be on polymorphism for sure. So overall, what is polymorphism? Object-oriented programming concepts will be asked. So object-oriented programming concepts, Java is a object-oriented programming language. Meaning is everything you write is in a class, and the class we will create an object of a class. So it is a object-oriented programming language. What are the object oriented concepts we are learning? So polymorphism is the first concept in the object oriented programming language concepts. So the first concept is polymorphism. There are two types of polymorphism: runtime polymorphism, compile time polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism is also called method overloading. Method overloading is methods can have same name, but methods can have different number of parameters or a type of parameters. Okay. So that is in a same class. So in a same class, we can have a method with same name, but different number of parameters. That is, we are overloading a method. Now, if you have, for example, if you have a method with same name and same number of parameters, is a duplicate. Okay. By changing the number of parameters, we are overloading it. It is not a duplicate. Compiler will consider it as overloaded method and it is fine. Now, when we call it, the number of parameters you have to pass should match. Okay. So the number of parameters should match, then it is the call will go to the matching method. So polymorphism has two types. What are the two types? Let us understand the types. So polymorphism has one type is compile time polymorphism. Okay. So compile time polymorphism. And second is runtime polymorphism. So what is compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism? We will see. Compile time is also called as method overloading. Runtime polymorphism is called method overriding. So now what is overriding? We will understand. So override meaning is a method can have same name and same number of parameters, which is override. Same name and same number of parameters. Okay. So, but same name and same number of parameters in a same class is a duplicate. But this method overriding is same name and same number of parameters in the parent-child class. In the parent and child class. So, in a parent class, suppose you have a method. For example, a method is sum you have. In a child also, you can have a method sum which will perform addition of two integers, which is allowed. So, writing the same method with the same number of parameters in a child class, that is overriding. So why it is called overriding or why it is called runtime polymorphism, we will understand with the example. Okay. So runtime polymorphism is method overriding. Method overriding is writing the method with same name, same number of parameters in a child class. So parent class has a method. For example, ABC method you have. So it has two parameters. Same method we are writing in the child class in the inheritance. What is inheritance? Answers? Any answers on inheritance? What is inheritance?
Inheriting
class
the attributes from parent class to child class or one class to other class.
Correct. Inheritance is inheriting the properties, methods from a one class to another class. Meaning is inheritance. How we inherit? What is the keyword for inheritance? Quick
extends
answers?
extends
Extends.
Correct. So now, for example, class A we have and you have some method in it. Okay. So, and there is a class B. Now, how we inherit class A in class B? We write extends A. So now B is inheriting A. And now suppose we have A class has a display method. Okay, display method generally to in a person class or in a employee class we have seen. In a student class display method will print the details. Like for example, you have integer A comma B or some variables you have, and in a display method you are printing the data of A and B. Okay, so print, I will write print A. Suppose we have only A here. We don't have B. In a class B, we have integer B. Now, we want to write a display method which will display B value here. What it will display? So, what it will display here? Print B. Now, having a display method in a class A and class B, the parameters are no parameters, meaning is parameters are same and method name is also same. So the signature is same. It is called method signature is same. So display doesn't have any parameter now, and in a child class also it doesn't have any parameter. So class A is having a variable integer A and method is display. Now in a class B, we are inheriting A. By default, display method will inherit. Yes. Even if we do not write this code, the display method is available in class B.
Yes.
Okay. Now why we are writing? Because we want to print the value of B. Okay. A value will be printed because of A value is the print statement we have only to print A value in a class A display method. Now in a class B, I want to display the B value also. Then I have to write a print statement. Otherwise, if I call display method, it will print A value only because that is the code we have. And we can't print B value in a class A because inheritance is not a reverse. Inheritance is always from a parent to child class. So now we will see example and understand. Okay. So this method in the child class, this method is called overridden method. So this is a overriding method. This is method overriding. So this is you have done a overriding. Okay. So this is what is this compile time polymorphism. In a same class, we are writing method with different number of parameters. But runtime polymorphism, method overriding is in a child class, we are writing a method with same name and same number of parameters, which is override. So display method is override here. So we are overriding the display method. Fine.
Priya, so this method overriding will come into picture only when we use these inheritance, like when
Yes,
one
correct.
class. Okay.
Okay, if there is no inheritance, both the classes are independent. Okay, if there is no inheritance, like there is no statement of extends A. Now A is independent, B is independent. Whatever you write in B is independent. There is no relation between A and B. So you can write same name, same number of parameters or whatever. It is different. Okay. Now
Okay.
this is also different. Now when there is a relation and already your display method is inherited because of you are writing extends. So in inheritance methods are also inherited. Yes, display is inherited with this statement extends.
Yes.
Even if there is a display method inherited from a class A, we are writing our own display method to override the meaning. So whatever is the code, we are overriding that code by writing the display method in our child class. Why we will write or why we need to use method overriding? There is a need. Okay. So why there is a need, we will see. Now, how we do it is clear. We will see why it is needed. In the some examples, some practicals we will see. Okay. So how we do it is clear. Let us write a program. We have the program for employee. We have created a employee class. We also created a student class. So let us override the methods. Let us understand overriding with the classes that we created. Okay. So for example, we have a person class. Person has a display method. Okay. And we have name, gender, and age. In the display method, we are printing name, gender, and age. For this class, we have a employee class. Employee class is extending. I will write a person. Okay, it extends a person. Now employee will have the ID and department, right? So if I want to print ID and department, I have to write a display method. You give a same name. Like I want to give a same name, but I want to print ID and department here. Or I want to print all the 5 values, like entire, all these. Name, age, gender will come from this class because of inheritance. Person will inherit all the things available in person to employee. Methods, attributes, both, right? Guys, may I know who joined with the name admin?
Sorry, actually, I was in the night class, so just joined Rajni.
Yeah. May I
Sorry.
know your name, please?
Venkatasai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can you please rename your
Yes,
name?
yes. Yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Yeah. No worries. Fine. So, guys, able to understand, like we have a display method with 3 print statements. Okay. Now in employee, I want to print ID also. I have to write the ID here. ID equals to, then only ID will be printed. And I will write one more statement to print department. Okay. So now this is a method overriding. So display method is, this is your override method. You have overridden a display method in a child class. Now, if you have an object of employee E, like employee object, and you are calling display method, which method will be called? The display method of employee class will be called because of the object is employee E1. If you create an object of a person, person object also we can create, it is also a class. Yes. This is also a class and it is a public class, so I can create a person P1 equals to new person. Any error in this code? P1 dot display, I can call. Before P1 dot display, I can write P1 dot name equals to. Let us write some name. Okay. Next P1 dot age. Let us assign some age. P1 dot gender. I will give as gender is our string type, right? Or which type it is? Okay, string we have taken. Okay. It is string, so I will give it in the double quotes. Fine. And P1 dot display, it will print these values. Now E1 dot, in a E1, we can add ID also. E1 dot department, I can add department also, like department as in I will give QA. Okay, the employee is in QA department or any department, HR or any other you can take up. Okay, so let us run and I will give you time to make a note of this program. So let us run and see the output. Okay, when which method is called based on the object. So now for a person object, Mahita and age 20, gender female is printed. Okay, now for a, okay, so this also we gave the same name. I will change the employee E1 name. Okay, we will change the employee E1 name. I will write Shilpa. Okay. Now we will run it again. So now Shilpa is department, everything, all details are printed. See, the display method is called, and the display method from this employee is printed, and all the 5 values are printed. Okay. Then display method from a person class also printing the 3 details. Now, what are the statements we have in a person? Name, gender, age. So name, gender, age is printed here. Fine. If we want, we can give some statement just for understanding. I will print some line so that it is different. We will understand. So see, the display method is printed, which is from the person class. Correct? From the employee class, it is printing all the 5 values. So now which method is called when is all will depend on object, which object you are calling or which object is calling the method. So employee class object is calling method, meaning is employee display will be called. And if you are creating object of a person class and the object of a person class is calling the display method, meaning is display method from a person class is printed, is executed. So this is called runtime polymorphism, meaning is at a runtime, which object is calling the method will run the method, like will be deciding the which method to run. Okay. So at a runtime, these things are called, like methods are called at a runtime based on the object which is calling. Now in a polymorphism, the compile time polymorphism, method overloading, at a compile time, when the compiler will read the program, that time only it is decided, okay, which method to call. Compiler, when it is just loading the program, that time only it will be decided, okay, this method, because matching parameters will be calculated, like where it is matching, and those will be executed. So it is called compile time, because at a compile time, which is earlier than runtime. Okay, earlier than runtime, at a compile time, the decision is done. It is compile time polymorphism. And for a method overriding, the decision is made to call which method is done at a runtime. That's why it is called runtime polymorphism. Okay. Able to relate, able to understand? Yes, no?
Yes, Priya.
Yes.
Priya, just want to check whether my understanding is correct. This method overloading will happen in the same class, and method overriding will happen between parent and child class. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Guys, able to understand? Is it correct? Yes. Able to relate? Okay, make a note of this. The types, you can make a note. Okay, real-time example of method overriding. Okay. Real-time example is, this is real-time example only. Like if you have a company management portal and you have employees and you have some non-employee staff also in the portal. How you create application? You want to display, right? Okay, overloading. This is one of the example. Overloading is the calculator example we have seen. So if you have a some method with the 2 parameters or addition of you want to calculate with 3 numbers, it is override, right? So every time in calculator, you can do a addition of not only just 2 numbers or 3 numbers, more than that also. right? All is possible because of method overloading. Okay, so the best example of method overloading is on a mobile screen, you have buttons, right? Now, the same buttons you use to call somebody, the same buttons you use to input something or type the messages also, the same buttons you use for um, some other activities on a phone. So one button is working or is able to do multiple actions for us. So that is method overloading. Meaning is you have only one button. You have to overload it, right? You have to give multiple actions based on the input. Like if you are already on a call and you are disconnecting it, you will use same button. Or you want to call somebody, you will use same button to call because that time there was no call going on. So that all is method overloading. So on mobiles we see method overloading. In computers also we see method overloading. Same button is for the digits or special characters both. The same button you use for a turn on, turn off. If your system is already on, it will turn off. If it is off, it will turn on. That is overloading. That is all overloading. Got it? So now think about, like, we have only some method, only one method you have. So you are overloading it, like by changing the parameters or the changing in which state it is. Okay. So got it? Good. So everyone got the example, able to relate it?
Priya, can we have this program in chat?
Yes, okay. So the program for
In
employee.
person, both.
Yes. So employee is in the chat and the person is also in the chat. Okay. So guys, whenever you copy a program, you have to copy only the code, main code, not the class name, because you already give a class name. So these two things will be auto generated in your Eclipse. So you have to copy from this line number 5. So in the chat, I have given all entire code. Copy it correctly.
Priya, I cannot see in chat anything.
Yeah, me too. I thought you shared
Okay, yeah, I got
comment.
that is only copied to one. So I pasted it in the chat. Now you might be able to see it. Okay.
Yes.
Able to understand?
Yes, yes. Okay, I have a question. When to write void and when to write static void? I'm just
Okay.
confused.
So yes, we will see static. So that time it will be clear. For now, you write void only.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay. So for now, you write void every time. Static we will see in the later in some classes. Okay.
Okay, Priya, I have one more question. While creating a person's class, do we need to create in a main method?
Not needed. Person, if you want to write like you want to create objects of person and then you want to write a code here related to creating objects, then you can use a main method. But for this example, we don't need a main method in person. Okay. But
Okay.
any class can have a main method. Even if
Okay.
parent class can have a main method.
Okay.
Yes, everyone able to understand? Completed? Okay. So now overriding we will see in a vehicle class. Okay. So in a vehicle class, we have a start method, final price, stop, show details method. Yes. Okay, quick answers. Can we move ahead with next example? Quick answers
Yes,
Yes.
Priya.
in the chat. Okay. So what I will do is, let us write methods in the car class. So now we have a type here in the car. Now I want to display, void display. What is the method we have in a vehicle? I will use same name. Okay, show details is a method. So we will write show details method. Override meaning is same name, same number of parameters. Now what we will do, we will write type equals to and whatever is plus type. And I will call a parent class show details method. How we call a parent class show details? This is, okay, we can call super dot show details, meaning is show details method from a parent class. So which is a parent class? Vehicle is a parent class. So parent class show detail will be called. What is available in the show detail? There are 4 lines available: color, number of wheels, a model, and year of purchase is available. So instead of writing it again, you can write it this way also. All 4 lines are printed. So with 1 line, our job is done. Okay. Now, if I create a car object, C1, C1 dot show details, what it should print? So type is also printed with the show details. Start is printing, vehicle started, and vehicle stopped is printed because of stop. Okay, if you do not have these lines, it is going to print all these along with type. Now, if we create an object of a vehicle class, we can create an object of a vehicle class as well in any class, because it is a class which is public. So v1 dot color, I will give color as red. Okay, vehicle v1 dot, we will write model. Okay, we will write price, some other price I will write. Now if you run it, v1 dot show details. So now see, the show details are printed. From a vehicle it is printing till this line. From this line it is for a vehicle object. So for a vehicle, color is red, price is not printed. So we are not printing price. Okay, we are not printing price. What we will do? v1 dot number of wheels, I will mention 4 and run it. So wherever you have data, data is printed. If there is no data, it is printing none, which is correct. I will give model, not to worry. So here we will give some BMW. Okay. Now it is printing the model. Year of purchase, also we will write v1 dot year of purchase, like something. Okay. So it is printing the data. Fine.
Priya, you mentioned about the super keyword. So does that invoke this display method as well when we run?
Correct. So what is super? Super is to call a parent class method. So super will invoke only parent class method. Whatever is available in show detail parent class will be printed. Okay. Now for a V1 in a vehicle class, there is nothing, right? There is only one we have. Show details has these 4 lines. So at this call, when we are calling the V1 dot show details, only the show details from the vehicle class will be printed. But when we are calling C1 dot show details with a car object. So for a car class, you have show details method, which itself calling the parent class. So it will call both.
So even if we had not created the object for the vehicle class, still the details would be the method from the vehicle class will be called.
Yes, even if so, when we are creating object is a second object. The first object is of C1. So C1 in the C1 we are storing the data. We have this all data stored in the C1 object. Okay. Now we are calling C1 dot show details. Meaning is we are calling this method. So this call will go to the parent class show detail and it will print the data because it is inheritance. Everything available in vehicle is now available in car class. So you have color, price, type, number of wheels, everything available in this car class. Automatically, those lines are available even if we do not write. So all the values are we assigned. So the values are printed with this method. Internally, this method is also what it is performing. It will print the colors, number of wheels. Color is also a part of car class because it is inheriting from the vehicle. Yes, it is not that we are not writing doesn't mean that it is not available. There is no only type. There are internally color, model, price, all those attributes are also inherited. Okay. Now we are printing, we are assigning values, we are printing that values. That's it. So show details will print all the data, like all 5 attribute data will be printed. So now I commented this vehicle object and run it and see what will be the output. So it is printing the data of C1 object. C1 is the car object.
Okay, so does this call the parent classes show details? I mean, since we mentioned super dot show details,
Yes.
does it
It will call the method only.
Okay. Yeah,
the data
method.
is in the C1 object. The data is we assigned. So whatever we assigned, it is printing that black. It is printing from a C1 object. Okay. So petrol is a type. It is printing. Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. So make a note of this code. I will give the code of vehicle class in the chat. We already created vehicle class, car class. Everyone you have to write 100 classes. You have to practice of writing 100 plus classes. So create new package, create new classes, write the code. Okay. Yes, everyone completed, able to run the program?
Yes, Priya.
Yes, okay. So we'll continue on Monday, guys. Thank you. Have a great day.
Priya, I have a doubt from prerequisite. Can I share my screen?
Yes. Okay, so Sneha, right?
Yes.
Okay, you're a host. Can you share a screen?
Do you see?
Yes.
Okay. One was regarding this thing. I kept this breakpoints over here, but I was not able to understand how we debug
Okay.
this.
So there is
heading.
a right corner. Okay, you have. Can you give me a control?
Sure.
Okay. So by default, the system will be in a run mode, not in a debug mode. Okay.
Okay.
So you have to go to debug mode by clicking on this right corner, this icon. Which icon? There is a J and some package icon is available. So I do not have the access. You have to click on. So there is a icon at right side of a screen.
You still don't have the control?
No.
I gave you.
So on a screen, there is a debug mode. You have to start the debug mode.
From here, run debug.
No. So you have to on a debug mode is by going, there is a search icon right side, right top. Below,
This one?
below.
This
Not okay. Besides that, there is a icon besides that. Go to right again. The next one.
This one?
Click on it. Yes. Click on it.
Okay.
Double click. Okay. Again, there is a right. Again, one more icon you have. Right. Okay. Click on it.
Okay.
So now you are in a debug mode. So it is selecting debug only. Okay. So now you are in a debug mode. Now you have to run as debug. Okay. Debug as Java application. So you have debug as Java application.
From here, right click or
Yeah,
over here?
right click. Yeah. From here, right click. Go to debug as
Debug as Java
Java
application.
application. Run it. Okay. So now it is stopping at this breakpoint. You have to click F6 or F5. It will go to the next run. So now I is 0. Okay. Your array is ID is 20. Okay. The first one, I value is 0 initially. Okay. Now F6 you have to press. On a function keys, you have F6.
Okay.
You have to press it. It will go to the next stop. F6 again you press. Or command plus F5 you have to press on a Mac.
Welcome to VoiceOver. VoiceOver speaks descriptions of items on
Okay.
the screen.
So
It can be
cancel
used to
this.
decode.
On a run you have resume. Okay. On a run you will get resume somewhere.
Yeah.
Resume. Yes. Resume. Click on it. So it is waiting at next breakpoint. Now J value is 1, I value is 0, J value is 1. Again, you have
Right.
to click on resume. Again, you have to, because it will wait for you to give a next instruction. It will not end the run entirely. So you have to again resume. It will wait again for a next breakpoint, wherever it is.
Oh,
Resume, click on
okay.
it. So it will again, yeah, you have to again click on resume. F5 you have to press or you have to resume it. Now J value is 2. See that J value is 2. Why J value is 2? Because it is a for loop. Initially I is 0. Like I is 0, J is also 1. And now this time J is 2. Next J will be 3. So what will happen? The comparison between the first index element and second element index. Now
Yeah.
it will be 0 and 10 and 3. The comparison is 0 index and 2 index, meaning is 10 and 3.
Yeah.
So 3 is smaller, so the values will replace.
Replace. Yeah.
It will go to the next. Now you again run it, resume. Okay, so now it will go inside a if, then all the values will shuffle. Okay, both the values will change. Now again resume. You have to do this resume. Like there is a button for resume. Again,
Okay.
click.
Okay.
Temp is now 10.
10. Yeah.
Whatever is A of I, that is array of I is 0. 10 is the 0th element index. So temp is now 10. Again, click on resume. You have resume is, okay, while you run, click on a resume, run and see the shortcut. F8 is the shortcut. You
F8.
have to click
Yeah.
F8. So click F8. It will go to the next. Now next iteration will be
At a particular index I equals to A.
okay. So I think you are executing the recording also. So like this, it will continue. Okay.
Started, I think. Yeah. Okay.
So this is how you can debug. Fine.
Okay. Thank you. And another question over here, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in I think demo string 4. No,
Okay.
2. Yeah. Here you explained that if we are doing str.equals method, that is going in the heap memory, right? And if we declare through string literal, it goes in the shared memory.
Yes.
So I was confused with that when you said with integer a equals to 10 and b equals to 10. With integer, every time we are having a different, it is taking a different address, right? It's not shared.
Yeah. Okay. So for integers, it is not how it is for a string. String is completely differently managed in Java. Integers are differently managed. For every integer variable we create, even if there are same values, memory will be allocated different. Okay. That is for integers. Okay.
Right.
So integers doesn't have any memory sharing mechanism. Okay. So integers are very much clear cut that, okay, whatever value you assign, it will be in a variable and a new memory is allocated. Simple. Okay. Now the complexity comes into the string only because most of the data that is we store is a string type. Okay, we store name, first name, mobile number, address, everything is a string data. So any project you take, most of the data is string. Now what happens if you have most of the data in the string format? Java has come up with a memory management solution. Like most of the time you store same value in a string. Most of the time, for example. So they are saying that use the same value. Then why to create a new memory allocation again? so that we can save the memory. So Java people come up with a shared memory concept for a strings only. So for a string, whenever we assign or whenever we create a string by directly assigning the value, if the value exists already str1 exists with welcome value. Now str2 you created with the same value. So what they do is internally the Java mechanism, the memory management, what they do is wherever welcome str1 is already created, str2 will also point to it. It will not create a new one because again there is a memory wastage. Again you are creating it. So that is the reason behind using the same value for str1 and str2 because the value is same. Okay.
Right.
So where
So-
it is stored, the difference comes in now picture. So whenever we store using directly equals to symbol.
Right.
Yes.
So, but when we are comparing integer, it says that they are same. But when we are
Correct.
comparing string with this equals to equals, at that time it checks the memory address, right? So I'm confused that for integers they are not checking the memory address.
Yeah. Okay. So why it happens with str? So now the str that we created with the new, meaning is the object is created, okay, and str1 is the literal, directly you are assigning the value. So both are of different, okay. And now why it will compare the memory address in a string is, string has a data of string format. Okay. Now integers equal to is a mathematical operation. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Equal to is a mathematical operation. So it perfectly works with integer values because it is a mathematical operation. Okay. Is it equal or not? So the values we can check directly. Now with string, what happens is it's not a mathematical operation and the data that we have in a str is also not a calculative. It's a string data.
Right.
So
Okay.
it won't work correct. Okay.
Okay.
It will check memory address or it will give some mistake. So to avoid that mistake, Java people have gave us a equals method. So which is dot equals method we call str dot equals. So that time it will compare the data in that variables. Maybe the variables are string. Okay, now you have the data which is of a string format. The string comparison will work perfectly with the equals method rather than double equals symbol. So double equals symbol will work for mathematical operations or calculative things like 10 and 10, which will work. Now, in the string case, it will not work. Most of the time, it won't work. Okay. Now, in which case it will work? Now, if you have str1 double equals to str2, it will work because both are of same type. Both are string literal and pointing to the same memory location. So
Right.
the value will be true. Like the if statement will evaluate to true. Just because of this is a string data, the double equals may not work. And
Okay.
the memory comparison will go to the address.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Good questions. So guys, everyone, you have to visit recordings. Okay, see that. Whatever you have questions, you can feel free to ask. So we are learning Java completely from the beginning. We have so many concepts to learn in Java. So practice more and more, write more and more programs, understand how we write a program, how we run it, how we debug it. So that is very much important. Okay. So slowly we will move to the, maybe like after 1 or 2 weeks, we will move to advanced concepts. So you will need a lot of understanding on the Java basics. Okay. So you have to be good at coding and practice more and more. Till now, you should be writing 20 to 30 class programs. Okay, you should create classes. You should create variables in the classes, methods in the class, run it, see the output. That practice should be done. Okay.
Okay, Priya.
Yes, thank you guys. So we'll
Thank you, Priya.
continue next class on Monday. Thank you.
Thank you, Priya.